The poignant question has to be asked, if God offers rest, then why do so many Christians seem to be tired? Within the context of spiritually abusive communities, the answer to this question lay in the nature of the relationships that individuals in these communities form. The religious establishment of Christ's time saw people as instruments for carrying their baggage. The same tendency persists in spiritually abusive communities today. So we talked about the donkey that was presented on one end versus being yoked with somebody on the other end. The religious community of that day saw people as vehicles to carry baggage that they dealt with, rather than work to lighten the burdens of an individual so that way they only carry that which is specified in covenant relationship. These communities expect people to carry the baggage of conformity, insecurity, boundary violation, manipulation, shame, and self-righteousness as a prerequisite to acceptance within the group or leadership. All of these bags will be unpacked in subsequent weeks. In the metaphor of the yoke, in Christ's metaphor of the yoke, he is both the stronger and wiser partner. You've probably heard at one point in time that they yoke, back in the day, they would yoke a young one and an old one, the young one because he was strong, the old one because he knew the way. Well, in this metaphor, we have Christ as being both the older and the stronger and the wiser, who is eternally begotten of the Father, self-sustaining and self-sufficient. In spiritually abusive communities, if any partnership exists at all, it is the individual that is partnered with a system that is already strained to the point of cannibalism. We talked about that last week, that in some spiritually abusive systems, they are disconnected from God because they have that dysfunctional relationship with the truth, which means the only way they sustain themselves is by bringing people in and feeding off of those individuals, which would be cannibalism, or, if a person is starving, they begin to metabolize themselves. They begin to feed on themselves. The community's dysfunctional relationship with God, which deprives them of substance, becomes the ultimate burden that has to be carried by the individual. As a survival mechanism to the constant drain many believers experience, they become cynical, jaded, opiated, and eventually forget the reason that they signed into Christianity is because somebody said that they were sick and tired of being sick and tired. We get into Christianity and then we get tired again, and we forget the fact that we were promised rest. So you've got this dynamic here that I've tried to form where I'm not rested because I'm constantly being pulled from and never being fed into. Yes. That take what I have and gladly take what I have. Appreciatively, maybe as nice as they want, but in terms of sowing into me, in terms of giving me something or allowing me to experience a real connection to God that allows me to feel refreshed and renewed, they're disconnected from God. If I'm only connected to God through them, I'm disconnected. Mm-hmm. Yes. And so I feel drained.